Paddy Power stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile, tablet or PC. Unlike some other high street bookies, Paddy Power, you beauty!
Hello and welcome to glorious Goodwood. I'm Tom Kerr and I'm joined here by Stuart Riley, Lee Modishead and Paddy Power's Paul Binfield to look forward to day 2 of the glorious Goodwood Festival, or should we say the Qatar Goodwood Festival. I think that's the technical name now, is that not right, guys?
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely, we're all for the sponsors. So we're going to be looking forward to an action-packed day of racing, with the highlight being, of course, the Sussex Stakes, the Jewel on the Downs, as it is now always known. Let's start with you, Stu. Ribchester is a favourite. Will you be backing him?
No.
Okay. Go on if you like.
I'll be siding with Churchill. I think it's a very tough race for older horses to win if they're coming across a decent 3-year-old, and I think Churchill's more than a decent 3-year-old. I think he's very good. Be a very hard horse to give £7 to. We saw it with Enable. It's very hard to give these precocious 3-year-olds the weight. They're more forward than they used to be. You know, you get the likes of Ulysses last year. He was running in Group 3s here, and now he's a Group 1 winner at 4, but these more forward types, it's very hard to give them the weight. So at the prices, I'd be siding with Churchill.
Okay, speaking of the prices, Paul, let's hear what you got, Paddy Power.
Yeah, well, we're 11 to 10 Ribchester, Tom. By the way, this is take 4 for viewers, isn't it? After you mucked up the first.
You're supposed to reveal all the secrets.
Take 3.
Oh, sorry, take 3, Thomas. Okay, 6 to 4 Churchill, 8 Zhao Zhao, 16 Lightning Spear and Lancaster Bomber, and 33 to 1 Bar.
Excellent. Okay, Lee, what do you make of those prices, and where's your money going?
Well, I think what's interesting about this race is the thing that Stu normally talks about, the tactics of the contest, because we've got 2 pacemakers in here. Godolphin have a pacemaker for Ribchester in Tuscany, he went off like the clappers in the Queen Anne, but didn't in the Locking Stakes. And Churchill has a potential pacemaker in Lancaster Bomber. How those 2 horses are deployed, I think, could have a bearing on how the race pans out, because my theory is that if Godolphin are clever and they almost try and use Tuscany to slow the pace a little bit in the front rank, I think that would suit Ribchester, because I don't think Churchill is a horse with an immediate turn of foot, and I'm not convinced that this track will play to his strengths.
Do you know what I think? They come round that bend and it's downhill. You can look at it from where we are now. It'll just help him get rolling.
No, that's not my opinion.
Okay.
I respect your opinion, especially in those glasses, but it's not my opinion. I think Ribchester ran a cracking race here to be a closing third last year. He's won 3 Group 1 since. I was disappointed with Churchill last time. He's just not a horse that does it for me, despite his win record. And I think of the big 2, and it surely is between the big 2, because really, although Zelzal is a nice horse, the best thing about him is that he's 1 latch away from the mighty Zilzal, who won this in 1989. That's his best chance. That's
a good punting angle there, Lee.
Yeah, it's by my standards, that's quite a strong punting angle. No, so I think this is Ribchester's Sussex Stakes to lose. I think he will win it, not lose it.
Okay, Stu, we just had a little chat there about tactics, and as Lee dobbed you in, basically, you are the tactics expert here. So how do you see the race panning out?
I think Lee is correct in his assertion of Godolphin's potential tactics. I think it will suit them to try and slow it up. Churchill, to me, looks, especially at a mile, he looks an out-and-out galloper. I've been saying all season, I think they should be stepping Caravaggio up to a mile, they should be stepping Churchill up to middle distances. They're keeping him at a mile, and I think he wants a truly run mile, so I expect Lancaster Bomber to go on. They really do need to make it a stern test and go early and go hard, but I think if they do that, and if it is a thoroughly run race and they come around that bend, it's a long straight and he gets rolling downhill, I think he may, just in that last furlong, surge clear again like he did in the Guineas. So that's how I see it playing out tactically, but I think Lee's spot on with, for Godolphin, their best chance is to try and get to the front and then try and back it up.
Okay, thanks. And Paul, what's your take on the race, and what did you make of Churchill's disappointment at Ascot?
Yeah, I think he was clearly disappointing, Tom. The Ribchester is clearly the best miler we've seen this season so far. They're both too short, in my opinion. I think Zhao Zhao could could throw up an upset. He was a Group 1 winner in the Prix Jean Prat last year, over a mile. Gregory Benoit rode him on his first start this year, and it looked like he thought he was riding Frankel. The amount of ground he thought he could make up at the end. Frankie won't make that mistake, so maybe he might find a couple of chinks in the front too. But it's a big guesswork, Tom. I think they're both too short for me, you know.
Okay, you're taking on the duel.
I'll take them on.
You're saying it's not a duel, it's a three-way.
Yeah, we've had these duels before, and then something's come and won. We've seen it at Cheltenham with Imperial Commander against
Auto Denman.
Wouldn't you like to be talking jumps now, wouldn't you, Lee? But what a great race.
What did they call that one again? What was that one? What was the moniker? There was a tagline for that as well, didn't there?
Yeah, Corton Denman. What was the tagline for that one?
It was along the lines of this is a two-horse race, and then
it was along those lines. Along those lines, you can tell you work in marketing actually, Paul, because it's a two-horse race. I think that's what they should be putting up on the posters. In fact, we were talking about alternatives to the duel on the Downs, because it's getting a bit tired now, isn't it? It's a bit tired. You know, I came up with the West Sussex skirmish.
You did, it was very good.
The bout in the south.
Yeah, that was good.
And what was yours, Lee?
Mine was they're rocking near Cocking, because of course we are just down the road here, viewers, from Cocking.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so let's just recap where we're all standing on this one. You're going for Churchill?
Churchill.
Ribchester.
Sale.
Lovely. Thanks, guys. That's the panel's opinion. We'll move on to the Morecambe now. We've got Wesley Ward in there with Happy Like a Fool, who he was very keen on at Ascot, but obviously got beaten by a good one there. Is Happy Like a Fool going to make amends, Lee?
I think Happy Like a Fool probably will make amends. I mean, the pace that Wesley is convinced this horse has within her grasp should make this race course, if you look down here, it's a downhill run from the 5 furlong pole. Sam, our producer, is just whizzing round his camera. That's gorgeous work there from Sam.
He's very good with that camera.
He's very good with that camera. Yeah, I think she's got loads of natural speed. I think she'll blaze downhill. I think they'll struggle to catch her. But I have to say, the Morecambe Stakes generally, I find one of the least interesting group races in the calendar. Happy Like a Fool makes it more interesting, but I'm still not wildly interested.
Okay. So how is Paddy pricing it up?
Well, we make Happy Like a Fool 7-4 favourite, Tom. 4-1 Havana Grey, and then 6 Invincible Army, 8 Battle of Jericho, and it's 10-1 Bar.
Okay. Stu, what's your verdict on this one?
I agree with Lee. I think Happy Like a Fool is going to go off a tremendous clip and will take a fair bit of pegging back. One horse that I think could go with him is Havana Grey, who's won 2 listed races at Sandown this year. I was there for the first of those, I think it was the National, and he did the exact same thing. He went off, set a really good gallop. It's uphill the whole way at Sandown, downhill here, but he blazed the trail and wasn't for catching, and I think if he can repeat that, then he may well be able to stick up with Happy Like a Fool. The other one that I'm tempted to give a chance to at a price is Sound and Silence. Obviously won at Royal Ascot, was very impressive that day. Disappointed last time at Newmarket, but if you're willing to forgive that, I think 10-1's a fair price in an each way market.
And I should just say, Tom, I think I was being a bit overly harsh on the Morecambe Stakes. Although it's not my favourite group race, the presence of Happy Like a Fool does make an intriguing puzzle to solve.
Absolutely. It feels like you've been nobbled. Have you been nobbled?
Well, you should be in marketing.
I live with a guilt complex, and as I said those words, I thought, no, you've been too hard there on the Morecambe Stakes. He's been around for a lot longer than I have.
You just think Goodwood are going to take away your champagne at the end of the week?
Oh no, I would never drink champagne before getting in the Volkswagen.
Okay, Paul, what's your verdict in the Morecambe?
Well, I'm going as a bookie, I think we've got to take on Happy Like a Fool. Havana Grey. I think Colbert might have said that they got the tactics wrong in the Norfolk. You know, they made all in the national stakes. Stuart was just talking about. Then they tried to come from behind in the Norfolk. Didn't work. Went back to making all in at Sandown in another listed race last time. And I think Havana Grey might serve it up to Happy Like a Fool. I'm going to go with him.
Okay, thanks so much, guys. We're going to take a quick ad now, and then we'll be back in a second just to look over the rest of the card at Goodwood.
Paddy's gearing up for Goodwood and Galway with this cracking horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least one race every day at both Glorious Goodwood and the Galway Summer Festival this week. Max £25 per race. Pre-race singles only. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back. We're now going to look at the opening race on the card. Paul, we'll start with you. If you could give us the prices for the opener, if you've got them.
Yeah, I must say for my bosses, I forgot the money back special in the Molecombe.
Okay.
If your horse finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite, you can have a free bet. And in the opener, we're 5 places each way, and we go 6 Orkaland, 7 Akavit, 8 Suju and Aurora Grey, 10 Star Rider, and it's 12 bar, Tom.
Good man, Paul. I feel maybe do you want to do take 4 if you want to get that offer in earlier?
Yeah, I'll tell you, you know what, when you make an aspersion on someone, it always comes back to haunt you, and it sure has.
Okay, right, Lee, we'll start with you. What's your verdict on that?
Well, first of all, very clever of producer Sam to position this here, because that is exactly where the Goodwood Stake starts. Cam is whizzing his camera around again. But that is the Goodwood Stake start. Starts by Flagfall, they gallop up the track, round the loop, round the bottom bend, back round down the top bend, where the Goodwood Cup used to start as well in the old days, before that was reduced to 2 miles. This is a proper stamina test, and Aurora Grey, we know she loves a proper stamina test because she's been round Pontefract a few times, over 2 miles to there. She'll stay all day. She has Sylvester de Souza on board, and I think at a decent price, she's quite persuasive.
Good man. Stu?
The one I like is another horse who you can absolutely tick the will stay all day box, and that's Philip Hobbs's Golden Doyen. These jumping types reverting back to the flat are always of interest. There's a proven track record there. Mr. Hobbs himself has won plenty of big handicaps on the flat, and I think given everything he's gone on and done over hurdles, he's pretty useful in that sphere. A mark of 79 looks pretty lenient back on the flat, so yeah, that would be the one for me at a decent each way price.
Thanks so much. Finally, Paul?
I agree with Lee actually. Aurora Grey, very consistent filly, always gives you a good run for your money. Huey Morrison and Sylvester de Souza. Huey won the race last year with Star Rider, and she was only beating a fag paper at Newbury last time, Tom.
Good man. We'll stick with you. Get the prices for the 225.
The 225, we are 4 places each way on this one, Tom. And it's 7-2 Secret Advisor, 5 Sapphire's Rock, 7 onto Victory and First Nation, and 10 to 1 bar.
Bit of money there for Sapphire's Rock, I think, as well. I'd like to say.
Yeah, been a bit of money already. Yep.
Excellent. And Stu, we'll start with you for this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't start with me. I'd start with Lee or Paul if I were you.
Okay. Well, that's. I'm assuming that's because you want to keep us in suspense rather than anything else.
No, it's because I don't really have much of an opinion on this race, and so I'm going to agree with whichever one of the two of them talks the most sense.
Okay,
I'll give the verdict on their opinions.
Okay, let's see who can make the most sense in this duel on the Downs.
Right, okay, this duel on the Downs. Quite many horses in this duel on the Downs.
I mean between you and Paul to
I
make
see.
the most sense.
Oh, the two of us, yes. Look, well, he's got loads of notes on his paper, so he's probably going to make more sense than I am. Years and years ago, this was a race won by the subsequently mighty Pilsudski in its days as the Tote Gold Trophy. It's a race I always like. The top 2 horses in the handicap, the 2 Godolphin horses, 2 of the Godolphin horses, Tamleek and Wolf Country. You get big prices about both those with Paddy Power and with other bookmakers, of course. And I think they are interesting. Particularly Tamleek was 4th in the Chester Vase. That turned out to be quite a good Chester Vase. Probably didn't get home last time in the Bahrain Trophy at Newmarket. I think him and Wolf Country would be my 2 against the field.
Excellent. That's a solid amount of sense right there. Paul?
Nice.
I'm going to go for First Nation, a stable companion of the favourites. Charlie Appleby with the Doyler on board. Found Atty Purse a bit too good in the King George handicap at Royal Ascot last time, but that form looks good, and Atty Purse was just too good for them. And that was a fine effort on his first step up to 1.5 miles. So First Nation at a bit of a price to beat his stable companion favourite.
Thanks very much. And the deciding vote goes to Stu. Who made more sense?
I'm going to go with Lee. There was a nice bit of history in there. That's what swung it for me. You know.
Hey, it's the Racing Post Old Boys Club here. What are you up to?
Okay, we're going to take another quick ad break, and then we'll look over the remaining races at Goodwood with a few more tips for tomorrow's action.
Paddy's gearing up for Goodwood and Galway with this cracking horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least one race every day at both Glorious Goodwood and the Galway Summer Festival this week. Max £25 per race. Pre-racing goes only. Conditions and exclusions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Tom Kerr, joined here on a lovely day at Goodwood by Stuart Riley, Lee Morishead and Paddy Powers, Paul Binfield. And we're just going to quickly look over the rest of the card at Goodwood. Lee, we'll start with you. What is your best bet on the rest of the card?
Best bet on the rest of the card would be Ebbsbourne in the Fillies handicap at 4:45. Trained by Sir Michael Stout, was second in a listed race last time. Sort of horse that Stout does really well with. I would like her, and I'd like Lamyar in the maiden for Richard Hannon and Ryan Moore at 4:10. And it sort of sums up in some ways what one of the charms of Glorious Goodwood is, that there are a lot of pretty ordinary races. You know, you get the great races, but if you're an owner with a sort of moderate-ish horse, you have a chance because it's full of maidens, nurseries and mid-ranking handicaps. So I'd say Lamyar in the maiden and Ebbsbourne in the Fillies handicap.
Thank you. Stu?
I also like one in the Fillies handicap, and that would be White Chocolate, trained by David Simcock. Won over course and distance back in June, then last time went to Chester. I think you can forgive any horse a run at Chester. Got beaten there. I mean, not beaten far, was beaten by Titty McPhee, who reopposes on much better terms and on a course that will suit far better. I go with White Chocolate.
Lovely. Paul?
A little bit of a guess, Tom. In the 4:10, the Fillies maiden, 4 places each way, by the way, with Paddy. Exceedingly Diva for Marcus Tregonning. Finished second on her debut at Windsor with a claimer on board. Kieran Schumacher takes over. I'm just always keen on Marcus Tregonning at this festival. He used to stay down here in West Wittering with his great mentor, the late great Major Dick Hearn. And I said yesterday on the Postcast, Dick Hearn always used to say it was an absolute disgrace if they didn't get a winner on the board at Glorious Goodwood. And I'm just trying to pick the Tregonning one here. I think he had a big price 2-year-old winner last year, so I'm going to go Exceedingly Diva.
Great insight. Thanks very much, Paul. We're now going to go over to David Jennings in Ireland, and he's going to give you some of his wisdom for the racing at Galway.
Day 3 of the Galway Summer Festival is the Tote.com Galway Plate Day, and what a compelling race we have in store at 5:35. Gigginstown in the news all week. Their sacking of Brian Cooper obviously made all the headlines, and it's Davy Russell who rides Balco de Flo, a long time fancy for the race by me and now favourite for the race as well. And I think Balco de Flo will take the world of beating for Henry de Bromhead. Just like Shanahan's Turn a few years ago, Balco de Flo is a second season novice. He ran in the same race at Punchestown that Shanahan's Turn ran in as well, and I think his form from last year, particularly that 16-length beating of Arbor de Vie at Fairyhouse on New Year's Day, is possibly the best piece of form on offer. I really like Balco de Flo. Earlier on in the card, we've got the Mare's handicap hurdle at 3:50, and Jessica Harrington, you've been reading her all week in the Racing Post, and she is so sweet on the Birdie Crow in that race at 3:50. A mark of 112, I think, fully underestimates the ability of the Birdie Crow. Mark Bulger takes the ride. She was very impressive in Limerick last time and has made a really nice introduction to hurdling. The Birdie Crow in the 3:50 before the big one, the Tote.com Galway Plate, it's Balco de Flo.
Okay, well, now we're going to quickly get our Wednesday naps, starting with you, Stuart.
Churchill.
Tam League each way.
Each way.
I'm going to take advantage of our money back special in the Molecombe and go for Havana Grey, who will try and make all and serve it up to Happy Like a Fool.
Wonderful. Thanks very much, guys, and thank you to everyone who is listening or watching. Please do subscribe on iTunes and you'll get all of our tipping and reviews as soon as they happen. Best of luck with your bets tomorrow, and we'll see you again then when we'll be looking at Day 3's racing at Goodwood.
Paddy Power stream all UK and Irish racing live on your mobile, tablet or PC. Unlike some other high street bookies, Paddy Power, you beauty!